Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. We have another MLM Top Fails. I'm so excited to be adding more of these to my collection. If you've been watching me for a little while, you might know that I typically am reacting to longer form content and doing deep dives, but because I have been getting so many people sending me things, I have more short pieces of content to react to, so I appreciate you guys for sending those my way. If you have something that you would like me to react to or want me to take a look at, I always put my email address in the description below. So if you just upload a file to Google Drive, you can go ahead and share it with me that way through my email.
You can send it my way.
So for this video, I have 3 longer-ish short pieces of content. They're all 6 to 10 minutes long, roughly. So I didn't feel like they could be in a full video because they're not long enough, but they're also not like super condensed. So I thought it'd be fun to include them in an MLM Top Fails. That way we can react to them and see these golden pieces of content. So I have one piece from It Works, and it's a giveaway Zoom live stream. Very interesting, I must say. I have another for Pruvit, and then I have one last Scentsy family reunion training that I haven't reacted to yet, and it's gonna be a good one because it's from one of our favorite Scentsy top leaders. But before we get into it, let's play the disclaimer. All right, now that that is out of the way, if you are not new here, you know that we have one more piece of housekeeping coming up. You also know that I have chapters, so you can skip through this part if you already know what to expect from my content.
Can I skip ahead?
You can find the chapters listed in the description below, so you can just click on the timestamp, or you'll find it in this bar right here. It'll say Top Fails, start here. Now, if you are new here, please listen up. I do not blur the names or the faces of the individuals that I react to in my video. This does not mean that I am encouraging anybody to go and seek these individuals out and send them hateful or mean comments or messages. I am also not inciting hate toward these individuals. My content is always meant to be educational, but most of all, entertaining. So let's all do our part and keep it that way. And with that, we're gonna get the into it. So we're gonna start with this It Works live giveaway Zoom that they recently did, and from what I've seen, it's pretty golden.
So if you are jumping on, I want you to say, hey
Girl.
we're gonna have, I know, a bunch of our team sharing this video, so I'll give them a second to do that. But happy Wednesday, guys. Happy November. So we are coming at you guys with yet another giveaway, which is so exciting. And you know what's the most special part of this? It's like the holiday season now. And so we know that, you know, things are expensive, right? And so we're so excited to be able to bless somebody with $750 cash tonight. That is just so amazing, so exciting. So as our team is sharing these, I want you to go ahead and tag the person's page who you're seeing this on. So that means the rep from our company that you work with on your social media page. Don't follow me or Christina unless you're part of ours. Follow the person who you are seeing this page on, okay? So that you can see notifications too for them for the future too. So a little bit about how these work, you guys. It is a simple favor that we ask of our friends and followers and family that really just helps support us and our small businesses. Christina and I are both moms doing our thing, and here we are. And it's so fun to be able to just ask for a quick favor that takes no more than a few seconds, and to be able to bless people with such a huge give back, I guess you could say, for this, especially because we know life is expensive, right? So my name is Amber. I have been in this business for almost 9 years, which is crazy. And I am here tonight with my friend Christina, who has been in this business even longer. So Christina, I want you to quickly just tell me like what this business has done for you.
Yes, so I'm Christina. I've been in for, it'll be 13 years in March. I'm a mom of 4. I found this business because I was a broke young mom. I was living off food stamps and WIC.
Oh my God, I hate when they give this story, the rags to riches stories. First of all, 13 years in an MLM. Wow. Also, we've heard this with the Scentsy consultant that I've reacted to in the past, where she basically credited Scentsy and her Scentsy business for getting her off of food stamps and WIC.
And then sometimes it can be a big paycheck like mine to pay a mortgage one day, to get me off of the system, to get me off of SNAP and WIC, and having to go, to the WIC office every month to get my card loaded with money to pay groceries for my kids. That was a big pill to swallow. That was a hard struggle for me to admit that we struggled so hard. And when I started opening up about being on Medicaid and how Scentsy helped me get out of it, because it did.
In that video where I reacted to the individual who was crediting Scentsy for WIC, I realized that a lot of people didn't really know what WIC was, so I wanted to explain that really quickly. It stands for Women, Infants, and Children. So this is government assistance given to those in need, and it's very specific. I know that when I was working in a grocery store, this was years and years ago, so I don't know if they still do it the same way, but with WIC, it basically looks like a check. At the time, this was, again, years ago, but just to give you an idea of what it is. They gave you what looked like a check, but it had on the check what it was for. So you got an individual check for each item. So for example, it would be like 1 gallon of milk and it had to be a specific type. A box of cereal had to be a specific type, and you would run them through as checks. So that's what WIC is, and that's how it all works. I wanted to explain that because she is now talking about how she was on food stamps and WIC, and I'm sure she credits her It Works business for getting her off of food stamps and WIC. And that's, first of all, a huge income claim. And secondly, you're giving people false hope because they now think that if they hand over money to join an MLM like It Works, they're going to get off of WIC and food stamps. And that just isn't really the case for over 99% of people who take part in MLMs.
And because of this business, I have been able to be full-time, with all my younger 3 children, the entire time that they have been born. I've been able to provide them with special things that they've been wanting to do, like sports, camps, all the things that are so expensive. But more importantly, I've been able to be present, and I've been able to create my time when I want, how I want to spend my time. I've been able to be the boss of that. And to me, that is priceless because it's something that you never can get back. And so when I found this business almost 13 years ago, I had no clue that it would bring me to where I am today. But my gosh, I'm so happy I took the leap of faith, and I'm here now running kids from sport events and lessons, working this business in my car. And so
that's ridiculous. You have time freedom, but you have to sit in your car.
This doesn't make sense.
Maybe she's not at her kid's sporting event at this moment. And this isn't mom shaming. This is just stating what she is saying to be true, that it's not actually true. So she could be at this sporting event, but she had to go in her car to do this planned live stream for her business. So where's the time freedom there? If you really truly had all of the time freedom and you didn't have to do things at a set time or during the time that your children are doing activities that you otherwise would be present for, if you're excusing yourself and sitting in your car to get on this pre-planned Zoom call, isn't that the opposite of time freedom? I don't know any virtual business owner, any physical business owner, and I know quite a few that has to do this aside from an emergency. Say an emergency happens with their business and they have to take care of it. Then it's like, okay, I can understand why you would have to go to your car and get on a call or do whatever. But on a regular Wednesday afternoon, you had to excuse yourself from your child's sporting event to get on a Facebook Live, and then in the same breath claim that you have so much time freedom. You're contradicting yourself.
So I can't even believe that it's been able to bless me. But I love that we do this and we give back to our followers so much because gas is crazy. Groceries are expensive. The holidays are coming up. And so we are just so thankful for everybody who supports us and our business, and excited for blessing everybody else tonight.
Heck yes. And you guys, so if she can do this business, 4 kids, run so yes, you can too. So if you're looking to do a little extra this holiday season, reach out to the person who you are friends with, whose page you're seeing this on, and just be like, hey, can you tell me a little bit about this? Because we can make this work for anyone. And in a digital age, you guys, if you're not making money from social media, like, why not, right? So we are going to go ahead and do this. And Christina, you are just my favorite. Yeah, she's like one of my greatest friends in this business. I love you so much.
This business, so that's even more fun.
True. All right, you guys. So what I am going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to actually show you guys live the drawing of the winner tonight. So cross your fingers and your toes that everything works as it should from my phone, because I live in the sticks, and so sometimes it's like it'll take a second to go through. So I have to share. Christina, do you see my screen?
I can see it. Yes.
Yay! Okay, guys. So this is the tool we use. We have everybody's names imported into a spreadsheet. And then what we do is we take that spreadsheet and we put it into our, into this like mini web tool, and we draw our names. So I am going to show you guys here. Here are some of the names. So if you see your name, say, hey, that's me. I will go through all of them right now because obviously there's a lot of people here. But you guys, what a cool chance to be able to win this. So $750 is going to go to one person in just a minute. So, all right. So this is how that website goes. We're going to submit. Drum roll, you guys. Our winner is Ashley. So
yes.
No.
That's my girl.
Yay! Oh, the kids too. You're like dark over there now. Turn your lights on. How excited, Ashley! You just won $750. Like, what?
I am really curious how this all goes down.
How the does this thing work?
If you know, leave it for us in the comments, because how does it work now? Do they get the $750 only if they join, or do they just get it in hopes that they will join? Do they have to do something? What's the fine print here? It feels a little bit desperate. Maybe I'm just jaded, but I'm like, where's the reasoning? What is, just because you got on a live Zoom, there's a reason for this. And whether it's to reel the person in that wins, or just get all of the names on a mailing list or follow-up list where you're going to pester them to join It Works, that was a lot of names. So if that's the case, then they made out pretty good, because now they're going to be pestering all of these people. And it sounds like none of them are on It Works, and they were just invited. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. This is just my opinion, my observations.
I'm like, yeah, Christina, you kind of like muted out for a second, but Ashley, if you did not hear that, drop it below. What do you do with $750 cash? We want to know. We need to message Christina with your PayPal, Venmo, and we'll get that sent to you.
That is so exciting. I love when people win these. It makes me so excited. So, Ashley, I'm so excited for you. What a huge blessing before the holidays.
All right, you guys, and we are not done. So we actually have one more giveaway for November. So if you are entered in, you get a second chance to win again. And that one's going to be December 2nd. Okay, and that's the day after my birthday. So December 2nd, we're going to be giving $1,000 to another winner again right for the holidays. What a blessing. How exciting. So Ashley, hopefully we'll hear from you soon here, and we'll get that sent out. So Christina, thanks for being on with me, my friend.
Thank you. Bye, you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, so I was able to find us some more context on this. This 1000% looks like a way to collect leads. They are looking for leads to pull into their It Works team. This is how they're doing it these days. And it's gross, so be on the lookout for this. Anytime somebody says they are giving away cash, if they're just Venmoing it to you, Cash Apping it to you, this is what's happening. Things like this, and then other spammers and hackers are doing the same thing as well. So
something smells fishy.
It's just not a good look for MLM huns. But with that said, apparently this was one of many drawings, and these It Works consultants are out here posting reels about this giveaway that they're doing. They posted one on the 9th, so I'm assuming that that was for this one. And it says, PSA, there are 7 Fridays until Christmas. My girls and I are blessing someone with $1,000 cash for Christmas. And it says, read the caption for more. And then the caption says, to enter, follow and drop the time you see this, then check your inbox for confirmation. So they're doing this for leads, and they're also doing it to try to boost their Instagram and social media reach, because I'm sure it has tanked in the past year or so. And then the reason I'm kind of thinking it's a lot for engagement too is because she posted another one on November 14th, and on the reel itself, the caption says, I'm Venmoing $1,000 to one person on 12/2 to help with gas, groceries, and Christmas gifts. Tell me your favorite color below and I'll message you the details. But then if you look in the caption, it says, follow and DM me, quote, November, to make sure I see your entry.
Wow, I can't believe people are actually buying this.
Are people still falling for this? Because I feel like this says a lot. Like, you want them to comment, follow, and then DM you. Tell me you're fishing for engagement without telling me you're fishing for engagement. So this is all an engagement and lead thing that they're essentially paying thousands of dollars for, or at least hundreds of dollars for. And I'm not sure that's really worth it, because when you factor that into how much you make, basically this would probably count as an expense, or I don't even know if we would call it a donation, because you're doing this to get leads. Aren't you just paying for leads? That's an expense. That's a business expense, which brings down your earnings. So when you're out here bragging about how much you are all making, remember how much you're spending or giving away too. This next one is a Pruvit lady. She rambles on for about 10 minutes, so I'm probably going to trim it up for time's sake. I won't be cutting any context out, but I don't want you to have to sit through the whole thing if she's just rambling. She's making some pretty intense medical claims when it comes to Pruvit, and I have some research to discredit some of the claims that she is making. So let's get into this one.
I'm just getting moving around. I got everybody off work and day program, but I got an order in last night, and I have never tried green apple. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. I'm going to shake up my miracle drink. It took 90 pounds of fat off my body, and it's kept it off almost 2 years. December will be 2 years.
Okay. So she's obviously talking about the Pruvit ketones drink, right? And sure, that is great that she lost 90 pounds. I am happy for her, but that's a huge medical claim. And you're also not including anything else that you may have changed, whether it be your diet or maybe you're walking, you're moving more. What else did you do besides drink the ketones? Because just drinking the ketones is likely not to work, and you'll see why in a few minutes.
Anyway, I'm going to try this. I've been wanting to get it for a long time, and I finally got it. So now I'm going to try it this morning and see how it goes. Everybody says, so yes, everybody says it's very good, so we'll see. So I'm going to try it. Anyway, I'm going to start off with 12 ounces. You either do 12 ounces or 16. I'm going to start out with 12. Only because I like things a little bit sweeter. If it's too sweet, then you just add more water. If it's not sweet enough, you add less. That's why I'm starting out with 12. Just to see, because I can always add more water. Anyway, they come in little sachets like that. This is the charge. This is going to give me the energy I need to get things done today. I have to take my mom for her EKG so that they can keep an eye on her heart with the cancer meds. Of course, always electrolytes to hydrate my body from head to toe on the... So yes, the electrolytes work on the cellular level. Whether I did ketones or not, I would be doing the electrolytes because I don't drink enough water.
I had to take a detour for a second and look up this electrolyte packet that Pruvit has. I am admittedly not super familiar with Pruvit's products, only because I really haven't covered them enough and I was never in Pruvit. So for that reason, I had to look up what was in their electrolyte packet. And personally, and I know a lot of other people also, prefer electrolytes with sodium, because sodium is one of the major electrolytes that you can be lacking if you're working out more, if you're exercising, if you're losing weight, all of those things. So you always want the sodium so that you can absorb the rest of the electrolytes, and it basically, like, it helps you keep your hydration and keep things going and working smoothly. So when I looked at their ingredients list, there's no sodium in there, which is fine. I mean, some people can't have the extra sodium, like if they have high blood pressure or something like that, then they can't. So maybe that's her case and that's cool. But it's just interesting to see that they're advertising this electrolyte packet as better than any other electrolyte on the market specifically, and it says specially crafted to combat the electrolyte imbalance of a low carb, high fat diet.
That's bullshit.
You're missing the salt, and it's $52 for 30 servings. Are you what? And I'm gonna be honest. Like, I can notice a difference. For example, if my old ass goes out drinking and I have even one drink, I am not feeling great the next day. And if I have just water with nothing in it, it will almost make me feel worse.
Everything hurts and I'm dying.
So what I do, if I don't have Gatorade on hand, I will take my pink Himalayan salt and I'll put like a teaspoon on my tongue at a time, like every few hours. And it works like a fucking charm. I mean, I'm not saying I could get up and run a marathon, but I can get through the day without wanting to get back into bed and wonder why I'm getting old. All of that to say, it's just interesting that they're marketing this as an electrolyte packet and it's like the best one on the market and it doesn't even have fucking sodium. Moving on. I am in a rambly mood today.
Everybody should be doing some type of electrolyte. Best ones are the natural like this. Not over the counter or not in the store in drinks or anything because they're loaded with sugar. And this will, like I said, hydrate from head to toe on a cellular level, meaning they'll clamp onto my cells and stay in my body instead of peeing them out.
What the f did you just say?
And then with the shaker up, really good. Then I'll drink it slow to 25 to 30 minutes. And then in less than 59 minutes, my body will be in the state of ketosis in minutes. It's taken 90 pounds of fat off my body, and it has kept it off almost 2 years. December will be 2 years. Whether you want to lose fat or not, you don't need it just for fat. You can use it for energy, better sleep, better focus, better hair, skin, and nails. The reasons I do it is to keep so I don't put the weight back on, because it will control appetite, and it'll help with carb and sugar control. And also, I do it because it gives me all kinds of energy to get all the stuff done I need to in my day. And I've got a lot going on lately, so I need the energy to be able to focus better. It is an amazing product. It's all natural exogenous ketones, bioidentical to what the body makes. But normally, the only way you can get your body in ketosis is to do the ketogenic diet. And that is not sustainable, and it's hard to get in ketosis. It takes 1 to 2 weeks on a strict diet. It also, if you take medications, it could throw you out, or stress, it could throw you out. So it's very hard. This is guaranteed to put you in ketosis. You can check your fingers. Yes, you can do a finger prick like diabetics do to check to see if you're in ketosis. That's a very reliable one. Or you can buy the urine sticks. I bought the urine sticks. My mom is diabetic, and she does my finger every once in a while to see what my sugar level is. I'm not diabetic, but we keep an eye on it because her dad was and she is. But since I've gotten the weight off, I haven't had to worry about it. Before I did. I was pre-diabetic before, and I had high blood pressure. So anyway, those are the ways you can check to see if you're in ketosis. I now know by how I feel if I'm in ketosis. But this is guaranteed to put you in ketosis in less than 59 minutes. So, and then you'll start burning the fat on your body. So reach out to me. I'm not going to force you to buy anything, but you need to know your options out there. Medications are not a good way to lose weight. Every medication that you put in your body, even aspirin, messes with your liver and your kidneys. So you got to be very, very careful. This stuff is all natural. They're just minerals. It's not going to mess with your liver or your kidneys. So reach out to me.
All right, there's a lot to cover here. Maybe this could have been split up into 3 different videos. But first of all, let's start small. She claims that Pruvit ketones are all natural. This is untrue. While on the package, it does say ketones made naturally. First of all, these types of claims are not monitored or regulated by the FDA. So there's that. While the FDA does not monitor or regulate the terms like natural when they are looking at food packaging and things like that, they do have a definition for it. And here's what it says. This is coming straight from the FDA. I am linking this article in the description so that you can go and check it out if you don't believe me or if you just want to learn more. Although the FDA has not engaged in rulemaking to establish a formal definition for the term natural, quote unquote, we do have a long-standing policy concerning the use of quote unquote natural in human food labeling. The FDA has considered the term natural to mean that nothing artificial or synthetic, including all color additives regardless of source, has been included in or has been added to a food that would not normally be expected to be in that food. So taking that into consideration and then looking at the other ingredients that I will put here on the screen, inside of the green apple ketones that she was just drinking and talking about, we have first up, erythritol, citric acid, natural flavor, stevia extract, caffeine, xanthan gum, and, I never say this right, spirulina extract for color. So according to the FDA, even though, again, they don't regulate it, this would not be considered natural. The next thing to talk about is the fact that she is saying as soon as she drinks this, within an hour or so, she's in ketosis and burning fat.
That's not how it works.
In order to be in a ketosis state and burning fat, you have to physically be in ketosis so your fat on your body can be used as a source of energy. That's what ketosis is. There's not enough science yet to prove anything about exogenous ketones like this helping with fat loss. That's why I said, well, what else did she do? Like, did she change her diet? Did she start moving more? Those things could also contribute to weight loss. And while having the extra energy, which is in fact something that a lot of studies do say exogenic ketones can help with, then maybe that's why she lost the weight, because she had more energy. She was able to move around. I was looking through different studies to see what professionals, what trained licensed professionals are saying about exogenic ketones for weight loss, and there's really nothing. They're all saying that there's nothing backing the science to state that exogenous ketones can help burn fat. It's the opposite. I actually did find a super interesting study that was done by, I hate the name of this website, but it's on dietdoctor.com. I'm linking it below. They used and talked about the Pruvit ketones. They conducted a really interesting study using exogenic ketones and placebos. What was interesting is that they used Pruvit ketones and they used 3 other brands for ketones, and the least expensive one had the most benefits. Now, they didn't test this for weight loss. They only did it for blood ketones, physical performance, mental performance, mood, satiation, mental clarity, and energy. And that's because they didn't have the allotted amount of time to do the weight loss part of it. But they did find that the people on the placebo were actually experiencing more positive than the people having the Pruvit ketones, which was pretty interesting to me. But anyway, they go into all of these different things about how the exogenic ketones work. I love reading about this stuff. I will make sure that article is linked below, along with a few other ones that I'm not going to use in the video, but I thought were interesting in terms of the keto diet and using exogenous ketones. But one more thing that I wanted to address that she was saying before we move on, she mentioned testing for ketones. Now, if you are consuming exogenic ketones, it's important to note that especially if you're using urine sticks, it will definitely, without a doubt, detect ketones in your urine because you're peeing them out. You're likely not going to be absorbing them. So you're going to look like you're in ketosis, but your body is not actually in the state of burning fat for energy because it has the ketones that you just put into your body manually, if that makes sense. I hope it does. And also, I don't agree fully with the keto diet. I know that some people do it for a short amount of time for certain reasons. Maybe they're instructed by their doctor, whatever it is. I wouldn't recommend doing it long term because it is not sustainable. She is correct in saying that it's not a sustainable diet for somebody who is otherwise healthy and is able to consume carbohydrates. With that said, if you're somebody who does have to be on keto diet or is going into a keto diet for whatever reason, you can't rely on urine sticks, and you also can't always rely on your blood sugar. You will want to test your ketones with a finger prick with a ketone reader. Testing your blood sugar is good, that's not a bad thing to do. You can look and see what it is. There's a range of where you want it to be when you're in ketosis, but you also don't know how long your sugar has been in that range. So testing your blood through a finger prick on a keto meter is going to give you a more accurate result. Something else that a lot of people don't really talk about when they talk about the keto diet or even exogenous ketones is that it can be very, very, very dangerous for somebody who is pre-diabetic or has diabetes. This can send them into ketoacidosis, which can be deadly. So this is a dangerous thing to be promoting when you don't have the educational backing to help people through this. And Pruvit is just a big mess. That's why I haven't really gotten into it, because I hate that anybody's out here and able to do this. But anyway, that's a video for a different day. And now we have our favorite Scentsy director that is going to teach us how to build other directors. Oh, this should be fun.
I'm really excited to be here. I am going to share with you guys how you can build directors and star directors and superstar directors, which sounds really scary, but Jen just did a really good segue into how to start that. So I'm just going to take it from there. So a little bit about me. My name is Chloe, and I am a superstar director in Greenville, North Carolina. Woo! Our team is Anchored Scents, and I am very, very passionate and have been probably since the first 6 months of my business about really helping women, mostly. We don't have any men yet that are directors yet, build in Scentsy to get to the life they want to be in. So over 11 years, there's been a lot of systems I've used to develop first, second, and third gen directors, okay? But I don't have a lot of time to share everything. So I want to get really to the heart of the 3 most foundational high impact activities that I've done repetitively over and over to get the same results of continuously leading consultants to excel in their leadership. So before I get to my next part, I want to share this with you guys, and I want you to think about this on the slide. High impact activities.
So really quickly before she gets into it, if you're not super familiar with Scentsy, I do have a full deep dive that I'll link in the description to give you a quick rundown on what she's talking about as far as directors go. So there's 3 different levels of directors, and these are the top of the pyramid in Scentsy. Director, just straight director, star director, and superstar director. Those are the 3, and it goes director, star, superstar. She also mentions first generation director, second and third generation director. So those are how far down in the line in whatever leg they're in within Scentsy. That's how they determine which is first and second and third gen directors. So that's what she's referring to. And we're going to go back into it.
That are done really well is how a leader wins. And it's not only how they win, but you get to win because you see them win. So how do you do that? Jen led that really well with focusing on frontline. So I'm going to continue to say you have to focus on frontline. If you don't have first gen directors, if you don't have frontline directors, you will never have second and third gen directors. So what do? I teach them how to work very early on if they're my frontline, okay? This means that I'm helping them strive for the highest level possible for sensational start, earning shooting star, promoting to certified within their first 30 days, and having sponsoring conversations really early on. This starts with their launch party to launch their business, and we've talked a lot about that this week. Home launch parties, and this is gonna hurt some of y'all, but I don't care. They have the highest impact of activity for success that I have ever seen in my personal frontline above anything else. I've sponsored over 350 people in the past 10 and a half years, and that doesn't count reinstatements. And I say that because 90% of them that are directors and above had home parties or rock-in basket parties, like they were teachers, nurses, out in the community and really knew how to do the bag parties.
Over 300 people she's sponsored directly. Now she has thousands in her group, like as a whole. So everybody else has recruited people and there's thousands of people, but she has directly recruited over 350 people.
Yeah, that's a shit ton.
Ma'am, I'm not sure I even know 3 people at this stage in life.
In order for them to build their customer base, that's going to be foundational. I want them to learn about the products. A home party is going to do that. I want them to share the products. They're going to learn how to upsell, book parties. This is the most personal level of sales that you can get a consultant to do by being in front of somebody. I also teach them that they can. I want them to know that they can do scary things, and I don't let them take the easy way out, because you already know they're going to say, I want an online link and I want to do an online party. I encourage them to do their first things first checklist. I get them plugged into our team community, Facebook page. Literally recreated my entire team and leadership page this year because of Jennifer Anderson. I did the same thing. I want them to be in a consecutive community where they can find things very easily, even if they're not my front line. I send them to our team website. Again, Jen encouraged me to do that. They can click at their pace, and if they're not my front line, they can get on there and they can go. I then will look at anybody under me, okay, within my team, who has no directors in between me and them, and I look to see if they've sold $2,000, maybe $500, if they've sponsored, etc. And then I start building a relationship with them, and I see if leadership is something that they would want. I go from there, and I train them just like I would my front line. All right? So, next. All right. Next foundational element, I teach them how to teach their team members. I want it to be replicatable, rinse and repeat. I want them to be able to do what I'm teaching them. So, after they have their launch party and promote to certified, I immediately get them understanding the comp plan. This is really, really important because you want to show them how to promote to lead after they hit certified. This is hands-on, so I make sure that they also understand what that promotion entails. They need to know how to promote, and you need to know how they will promote. I use the document that I created. You can use the Scentsy one though. It's called the compensation plan, by the way. And I break it down for them on how to promote so they're not so overwhelmed.
I said this in another recent video where I was reacting to a Scentsy consultant who was talking about the compensation plan and how important it is to understand it.
It's very complicated.
It should not be that complicated to learn a compensation plan if you are in a sales role. It shouldn't be this complicated. The way that these MLM compensation plans work, I truly believe that they purposely make it so confusing so that people don't actually understand them and they just continue on with blinders on because they don't see what's actually happening.
I also, I went a little too far. I've never used one of these before. It's actually really cool. I also help them create what I call high impact business habits, right? Call it IPAs, call it things that are gonna make them money, but you can see some examples on the screen of what I do. I help them continue to expand their customer base by having parties. They need to know how to do that. Otherwise, they're gonna run out of those people. I help them learn how to book parties off of parties. They need to know how to have simple but effective customer follow-up systems that are not robotic. We are not robots. We are people. We need to teach them how to communicate and get off social media and have conversations with people. I want them to learn how to build lasting relationships with their customers so they can retain them. I want them to show up to team meetings, going to events. You guys being here is huge. They will do what you do. They're looking at you. Did you walk across the stage this week and for any kind of award? They're looking at you. Are you training them to use the workstation, to go on Scentsy trainings, on Mondays, Tuesdays, YouTube trainings? Are you helping them set high goals for PRV? Are you helping them learn about the monthly bonus of $2,000, $2,500 average for annual sales a month? Are you teaching them how to have sponsoring conversations? I'll literally have them text them to me so I can read them and see like, what's going on? Let me see how you talk. I want to help them learn how to do that so they can incorporate those conversations into follow-ups at parties, on social media, etc. And then lastly, I teach them how to teach their team members, okay?
Okay, two things. One is negative, one is positive. I'll start with the negative. This is not reflecting the fact that this is their business as Scentsy consultants. You'll oftentimes hear a lot of MLM consultants, representatives claim that they are running their own business, where this is proving the fact that it's not their own business because they have trainings they have to attend. They have certain things they have to do. They're required to do certain things by their leader, by Scentsy. They have to reach a certain threshold of sales. These things, they all prove that this is not your business. You don't have say in almost anything that you do as a Scentsy consultant. Now, my positive spin on this is that I've said this in another video where I reacted to this same individual, that she would be likely a phenomenal actual business owner if she were to go out on her own and start a business of her own. I really think that she would do really well. And I think that that's probably the case for anybody who is doing really well in an MLM or has made it to the top of the pyramid like this individual, because there has to be some kind of work ethic to get there. And so I think that anybody who climbs their way, makes their way to the top of the pyramid and maintains it without falling out of it, I just think that they would do really well as actual business owners. They show a lot of those things. Now, I'm not saying all of them. There are some leaders that I've reacted to where they would crash and burn very quickly. But yeah, that was my positive and negative. Let's move on.
So this is really important. The first 4 to 5 months after my new consultant is certified, or after I'm digging down, right, pulling a report, aka I call it the ASIN double click. You just double click who on your team has high sales, who's sponsoring, who's also engaging on the team page, who's showing up to SFR this week. Those are the people that are going to get my new time to see if I can coach them and work with them. You want it to be replicatable, like I've said a lot. So there's a lot of communication about 4 to 5 months if I'm really working and developing somebody. All right, I really want to help them build a big business. I want them to win and do it better than me. Once they're a lead consultant, I invite them to our leadership community that we have, and we do leadership calls. And so that's pretty simple and straightforward. I teach them how to be self-accountable. It's their business, all right? And you don't need a million systems to build a director, star director, or superstar director. I can tell you, I've seen the systems. My husband's built the systems. I've changed the systems. You're the system. You are the system. You need to help them understand how to run a foundational and successful business that they can understand and individualize, and that they can be successful in. My goal with any leader I work with is to help them get in the driver's seat and build their leadership and work ethic muscles so they can navigate leadership their way. That's how they're going to promote, they're going to sponsor, they're going to be paid a title, stay paid a title, and teach their downline to do the same. So these are just pretty much everything I already repeated, the highest impact activities that you can kind of work with your leaders with to help create first, second, and third gen directors. And then if you're not selling and recruiting, stop doing team meetings. You need to work your business. The best example is you. Work on your business, have a successful business, so you can teach them new things that you're doing, new skills that you're doing. And don't forget about self-development as a leader. This is really, really important because you want to refresh, refill. The speaker talked about this yesterday frequently, so you can really give your leaders all you got and then refill again, etc. So help them get in the driver's seat, build their leadership, build their work ethic, and just lead. Thank you.
It's just so sad because she would be so good owning a real business that was her own. But anyway, that whole training, again, proves that these MLM huns are not business owners, because these people are talking about how they're training their team and then telling you you own your business, but checking in on you and telling you you're not doing it right and doing all the things that I can't make it make sense. It just does not. The math doesn't math. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.